everyone. I am Adelheid, and this is the first of, I hope, many more videos in a series that I'm calling Sordid Lives of History. And these are going to be short videos that give a small bit of insight into some historical events and people. And where I'm getting these ideas from are actually from you. So feel free in comments to ask me questions. This question came from someone and I thought it was kind of fun, and it's something that I have a reasonable amount of knowledge about. And that is, did Henry VIII love Anne Boleyn, and did he mourn her? Now, this is the second video. I did a very short video just sort of making a joke to some degree about whether or not Henry loved Anne. And the video basically said he had her executed. So what do you think? Did he love her? Henry, if you don't know who Henry VIII is, and I'm sure everyone does, Henry VIII, I am, Henry VIII, I am. He killed two of his wives, not himself personally, but he had them executed. He abandoned another, and one died. He dissolved a marriage, and the last one he stayed married to until he died. And Henry was, everything I've read about him, he either had some kind of TBI, or from a jousting accident that he had, or he was just a narcissistic sociopath. I'm not sure Henry actually loved anybody ever. I do think that Henry loved the idea of Henry, and Henry loved the idea of continuing the Tudor legacy. So what was so very important to Henry was that he continued his lineage, continued an heir to the throne, and that heir had to be male. For some reason, Henry couldn't get his mind around the idea that he could get a law put together that allowed a woman to take the throne. He eventually did, but that was after his one and only living male heir ended up dying. So, the question again, did Henry love Anne Boleyn? And did he mourn her death? I am going to go with, from my readings and my research, that Henry VIII did not love Anne Boleyn, like I said before. So what's my evidence? Why do I think that? Well, just to give an example, he had Anne Boleyn beheaded, and 11 days later, he married Jane Seymour. So he likely was already involved with Jane. And when I say that, I mean sleeping with her, but he definitely was already courting Jane at that point. So he married Jane 11 days later, but when Jane died, he waited two to 2.5 years to marry Anne of Cleves. And that to me shows you he absolutely was not mournful about Anne. I think there are some anecdotes out there that he actually went on a hunt the day Anne was executed, and he released some doves as a representation of goodbye, that he smiled when they came to tell him that the deed had been done, that she had been beheaded. So that does not indicate to me of a man that is mournful in the slightest. And here's another thing. I don't think he loved, like I said, I don't think he loved Anne. I think he was just obsessed with her. And it was really more of the, I can't have you the way I want you, so I become even more obsessed with you. He used to write her letters all the time, begging her to let her bed him, and she wouldn't, until he got rid of Catherine of Aragon and made her queen. One of the things that I really think shows, again, how much he didn't care about Anne in the slightest was, when Catherine, one of the ways he punished Catherine of Aragon for not allowing him to have a divorce to marry Anne was he removed the title of Queen of England from Catherine. And in fact, I believe he referred to her as Princess Dowager of Wales, because she was Arthur's wife, and their marriage, he and Catherine, meaning Henry VIII and Catherine's marriage, was not valid and legal. And that's the grounds that he divorced her on. So he didn't just take her title. He also then took his first heir to take the throne, Mary Tudor. He took her title away as well, and so sort of he didn't. I believe he illegitimized her, in fact, and he sent her away from court. And when he married Jane Seymour, Jane convinced him to allow Mary and to come back to court. And at this point, just like he took away Mary's title and Mary's privilege, he had then at that point taken away Anne Boleyn and his child, Elizabeth, her title. So she was now referred to as Madam Elizabeth instead of Princess Elizabeth. So when Mary came back to court, this is his words to Mary. And again, I don't know that anybody knows for certain. This is actually wrote down that he said this out loud in court. And like I said, citations below. But this is what he said to his daughter Mary after being away from her for 3 years and not seeing her because he sent her away from court and took away her title. He said to her, "My daughter, she who did you so much harm and prevented me from seeing you for so very long has paid the penalty." So he blamed Anne for his own choices to not only illegitimize his daughter and send her away, but not to let her come back and spend any time with her. So that right there says to me, he did not care about Anne in the slightest. And just because she didn't give him a male heir, he could have cared less. So, no, he didn't love her. No, he didn't mourn her. In fact, I don't think he gave two craps about Anne Boleyn. Well, that is it, and I really hope that you enjoyed this short little video. Again, please ask me some questions down in the comment field, and I will do some research and give you my answer, and we'll go from there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.